Hey everybody, I am so sorry that I'm late. Okay, it's been one of those mornings. The dog wouldn't go into his kennel. I couldn't find my tripod. Just, my hair looks like this because I've been cutting it myself. It's just been one of those mornings, and so I apologize for being late, but I have to share with you right now, if you can envision this, that really cute statue that Jan has by the door of the frog who is sitting with his legs crossed and in a meditation pose. He's the guy who's holding up my phone right now. So I might giggle every time I look at the camera and see him, but it also might require you to turn your volume up just a little bit more, and I apologize for the light that you're probably seeing up at the top of the screen because I can't angle the phone down anymore. So with all that said, let's just get going. Let's just get started and see if we can shake off maybe a morning that's not going great for you either, right? Maybe you had weekend plans and you realized that they were the wrong plans given the weather that we have today. Maybe it's just been a really hard week and there's just a lot that you need to let go of. I know that I've been going through that a lot, and it's one of the reasons I really value my time here with you on Saturday mornings, to be able to just let go. So this practice today might look a little bit different because of the lack of the tripod, but we're gonna figure it out. And the good news is, yoga meets us exactly where we are every single time we come to our mat. Our mat will give us the gift of giving us exactly what we need, as long as we're open to it. So we don't come in with any expectations. We don't come in trying to force or manipulate, but we just come in to be and to absorb and to get filled. And so that's where we are today. This practice is just going to meet us exactly where we are. So standing nice and tall, feet firmly rooted on the ground. Roll the shoulders down and back, pull up through your legs. Don't lock out your knees. Drop the shoulders down, chin's at level position, and we breathe in 3 big times through our nose, out our mouth, sighing it out. So inhale up, and exhale, big sigh. Inhaling, and exhale. This time maybe adding the chin, gazing up at the hands, and exhaling, bringing the chin to the chest. Holding there for a moment, taking a couple of deep breaths, feeling that stretch on the back of the neck as the chin comes to the chest and the gaze is toward the ground. Then gently rolling the head from right to left. Taking your time as you do this, just noticing thoughts might come into your mind. Maybe they're thoughts about your physical feeling right now. Maybe they're thoughts about the to-do list that you have to go through later. And I want you to just acknowledge that those thoughts are there, and then let them go. Let them just float right by. Because this is our time, here and now. Breathing deep, letting go, and just being open to what the next hour or so has in store for us. Next time you find your chin down at your chest, we lift our gaze to that level position and then look right to left. Again, just taking our time, keeping our body still and strong, and just working the neck, getting some movement. And the next time we find ourselves in the center, we take a nice big inhale, arms coming up. Clasp those fingers together, rotate the palms to the sky, and just reach. Take some nice deep breaths as we draw the shoulders back, draw the arms even with the ears, and just reach up. Nice big stretch. And on an exhale, we bring our hands through heart center and coming down to that forward fold. Bending the knees as much as we need to. Just getting a feel for how the body feels, what we might need to do today. And then dropping the bottom down, we're going to change a little bit. We're going to come down to our knees, scooch ourselves back, and we're going to start on our stomach today. So lowering ourselves all the way down, making a little pillow with our hands, resting the forehead. So I'm going to prop myself up so that you guys can hear me, but right now your forehead is rested on your hands. You feel your body begin to melt and to relax into the mat a little bit. Feel the hips become heavy. You feel the contact of your thighs on the mat, the tops of your feet. And what I really want you to feel, and why I like starting this way every once in a while as a reminder, is I want you to feel that deep belly breath. How when you inhale, the stomach presses into the mat, expanding the low back. And on the exhale, the stomach softens. The spine draws a little bit closer to the mat. In a time like this, when we're going through a lot of stress and anxiety and things are weird, we can slip into that fight or flight situation with our breath and not even realize. Has that ever happened to you, where it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you realize, like, I just took the first deep breath of the day, right? We've been breathing through our chest, breathing really shallow, nervous, anxious, uptight, frustrated. And so this is just that good reminder what it feels like to breathe deep from the belly. We may not be in control of very much now, but we are absolutely in control of our intentions. How we choose to react to situations, how we choose to respond to people that question or accuse, how we choose to show our emotions, who we're vulnerable with. Can we let down our guard long enough to ask for help? So today, just that thought, all about intention, all about choice. It's like that in our practice too. I don't know about you, but when I am in a class with people in the room, I tend to get a little bit more serious. Maybe I hold the pose that I shouldn't, because I feel if people are around. He's doing it, why can't I do it? So that's one of the nice things about being home and doing your personal practice right now, is that you get to choose how active the practice is for you. You get to choose the modification or to go deeper. So just pause for a moment and think about giving yourself permission to be intentional with each breath, with each movement, and with each pose that you go through today. So it may not be setting one single intention for the entire class. It may be realizing that each time you do something new, you have to kind of assess, is this for me today, or is this not for me today? And if it's not for me today, how did my heart feel when I just admitted that? So now everyone, bringing your hands alongside your chest, we're simply going to press ourselves gently back to child's pose, all the way back, leaving our hands stretched out forward, letting our body collapse down onto our lap, chest coming to our legs, forehead coming down to the ground. And then walking our hands over to the right side, I'd like for you to come up onto your fingertips. So resting your fingertips on the ground, the palms are a little bit cupped, the arms are stretched, and we simply walked our hands over to the right side, feeling that left hip press down, not letting that pop up. Walking the hands back to center. Again, we're just walking across on our fingertips and then all the way over to the other side. Feeling that stretch on the right side body, the right hip stays down. And then walking the hands back through center, coming up into our tabletop, going through a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Loosen up that spine. We inhale as the stomach sags, chin comes high, tailbone high. As we exhale, we round the back. Inhaling, stomach sags. And exhale, we round. Doing that a couple of times on your own. Maybe right now it's being intentional about really matching the breath to the movement, not rushing one ahead of the other. Or maybe it's finding that you want to add that little pause at the top or the bottom of your breath. So often in our life, we can go through the motions. And sometimes we do that in our yoga practice too. Finishing up this last one, as you round into your cat, holding that pose for a breath or two. And then taking a nice deep breath here. And as we exhale, we hold the round, but we press back to child's pose. Nice and slow. Just getting a little bit of a different stretch. And then bringing ourselves down into our child's pose just for a moment. Coming back up to our tabletop. And this time, let's wag the dog. Let's wag the tail and look to the right as we shift our hips to the right. Now we're not shifting our body and swaying our legs. We're actually just turning our hips. And then we turn the hips to the left as we gaze to the left. So this is one, as you shake your booty, as you shake your hips. Again, remember, it's not leaning side to side. It's simply rotating the hips. This is one that sometimes it does feel good to go a little bit faster, or for some people a little bit slower. So just play around with it for a second. And then coming back to center, why don't we go ahead here, tuck our toes and press up into that downward dog. Okay, good morning, right? This is when we kind of realize that the week has done a number on our body, perhaps. So just pedaling out that dog, getting some movement here. And then dropping down to our knees, coming back into our tabletop position. From here, I want you to tuck your toes again, but this time we're only lifting off of the ground for about an inch. So just lifting here, hovering those knees, taking some nice deep breaths, really lifting our chest up. We're engaged in our core, not letting our body sag down between our shoulders. And then coming back down to the ground. This time, let the tops of your feet come to the ground. And we're going to lift up again, but putting that pressure on the tops of our feet, getting a stretch on the front of that ankle. Nice deep breaths. And then lowering ourselves down. Do some ankle twists, tap your feet out, whatever feels good to get those ankles, toes moving around. Feels different for everybody, so just want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. And then from here, I'd like you to walk your hands back, come all the way up to your knees. I am going to change my position, but we're high on our knees right now. We take a nice big inhale, the arms come up. And exhale, hands down. One more time, inhaling, arms come up. This time we exhale and bring our hands to heart center. Engaging our core, so we're holding ourselves nice and tall. We simply walk that right leg out to the side. Blading that foot like a warrior 2 foot. So it is parallel with your knee. And we're going to inhale the arms up. As we exhale, that right arm comes down to the right leg. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left hand comes to the left side, right arm comes over. Inhale up. Exhale, right hand to right leg. Inhaling up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm over. Inhale up. Right arm down, and then this time we inhale up and we exhale that left hand all the way down to the ground. Maybe you're on your fingertips, maybe you have a block nearby, maybe you come down to your fist. Whatever's comfortable for you there, so we can get that nice long stretch from the side of the foot all the way up, across the hip and the chest, the side body. And taking those nice deep breaths. One more inhale here. And as we exhale, we bring that right hand down to meet the left hand. Bringing both palms down to the ground. We're in a small little twist for a moment. And then we simply walk our hands over to the front of the mat. And then right here, before we do anything else, I just want you to press your hips back to the back of the room. Not that we're arching our back or anything, but just feel the hips shift towards the back of the room, and you get a nice little stretch on the inner thigh. From here, we can walk down to our elbows. Just rest for a moment. Loosen up that right knee. Make sure you're not locking that out. And then while we're still in this position, let's draw that right knee in, bring it down to meet the left, and then simply walk our hands towards our legs, bringing ourselves up to that kneeling position. We're going to take a nice big inhale here. Exhaling the hands to heart center. Engage the core. Simply bring that left foot out to the side. Warrior 2 foot. The foot is bladed, even with the knee. We inhale the arms up. And as we exhale, that left hand comes down to meet that left knee. Inhale up. Exhale the right arm down to our side. Inhaling both arms up. Exhale, left hand, left knee. Inhaling up. And exhale over to the right. And one more time, we inhale up. And exhale over to the left. And then inhaling both arms up. And this time we exhale that right arm all the way down to whatever position makes the most sense for you. We get that nice long side body stretch. And then we take one more inhale here. And as we exhale, that left hand comes down to meet the right hand. Pause in this twisted position for just a moment. And then exhale as we start walking the hands over to the center. Once again, pause. Feel that shift in your hips. Loosen up that left knee. Feel that little shift in your hips towards the back of the room to get a little bit more of a stretch on that inner thigh. And then coming down to our elbows or our forearms. Loosen up that left knee. And then bringing that left knee in to meet the right. Simply walk your hands back towards your legs, coming to that kneeling position. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands through the heart back to your tabletop. And from here, we're going to tuck our toes, lift ourselves up to our downward dog. Moving that dog around. Maybe it's already feeling a little bit looser. Maybe we're just easing into the day. So making our way to the front of the mat, to our forward fold, whatever that looks like for you, a single step, dropping the knee. We exhale, in fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, we fold. Bending the knees, arms out to the side, we come all the way up. Standing salute. And exhale, hands to heart center. Going running through a few sun salutations to really warm up. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, we fold. Planting our hands, we hop or step back to plank. Pause for a moment, take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we rock forward, coming down halfway, allowing the legs to drop and coming into our up dog. Or maybe it's a child. All right, maybe it's a baby cobra for you, sorry. And then pressing back into our downward dog. So remember, this is about what is for you and what is not for you, and only you can decide. So if we're doing up dog and you know that baby cobra is where you need to be, or cobra, then that's your practice today. Once again, making our way to the front of the mat. We exhale in our forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side, knees bent. We press into the ground, lifting all the way up. And exhale, hands to our heart. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, we plant and hop or step back to plank. On our exhale, we rock forward, lowering ourselves down and coming into our up dog. Exhaling, we come back into our downward dog. Pause for a breath. We're going to run through that 2 more times. In fact, I'm going to let you guys do that on your own. So let's make our ways to the front of the mat. We're going to all exhale together in this forward fold. Inhaling halfway. Exhale, we fold. Bend our knees, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to run through those sun salutations once on either side at your own pace. When you are finished, you can simply hold in a downward dog, or you can rest in child's pose. Don't worry, I will come get you in just a few moments. So resting now, either in our downward dog or in our child's pose. Everyone meeting in child's pose. So maybe we need to drop our knees, press ourselves back. Bring the arms alongside of you, allowing the backs of the hands to rest, the shoulders to rest. Couple of deep breaths.
then bringing our hands back, stretching them out in front of us, lifting ourselves up to our tabletop. And then from here, we're going to take our left leg, walk that through, that left foot coming into that nice low lunge. Maybe you have blocks nearby that you like to place your hands on. But we're just going to run through a nice slow stretch, okay? Transitioning to just a couple of different poses, but being able to work on opening up our hips, getting some nice stretching. From here, planting our hands nice and strong, tucking the toe of that back foot and coming up. First with just our leg, making sure we've got that stability in this high lunge. And then coming all the way up. Pausing here for a few breaths. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Feeling the strength in that front leg. And knowing again that you can drop that knee, you can shorten your stance, anything that you might need to do. From here, we're going to simply rotate out, rotate that back foot down, coming into our warrior two. Gaze is towards the front hand, the front leg is bent. Straightening that front leg. We're simply going to reach forward, coming into kind of that preparation for triangle. Pause here for a moment. Feel the right hip jutted back behind us. And then simply rotating the body down, coming into triangle. Gaze can be at the ground. Gaze can be up at your hand. One more big breath. And from here, I'd like you to just bring that right arm down to the ground and then walk yourself over. Rotate that left foot, come to the side of your mat in a wide leg forward fold. Up on our hands, maybe we're up on our wrists, maybe we're even on fingertips. But just holding here in a nice flat back for a breath or two. Get a feel for how our legs are feeling, how much flexibility maybe they have or don't have today. And then allowing ourselves to come down, finding a position that you can rest in for 5 nice deep breaths. One more. And then before we move from here, play around for just a second. Can you reach your arms through? Does your head come a little bit closer to the ground? Can you walk your feet out? Maybe you're like, no way, I'm done with this one. And you just come out of it, and that's fine. But maybe this is just a chance for a little bit of freedom, a little bit of play. walking our hands forward, coming up to that nice flat back. And then I'd like for you to rotate towards that right foot. Point the right foot towards the short end of your mat. Left foot now can also rotate. We come to that high lunge for just a moment. It always freaks everyone out when we're facing the opposite direction. Don't worry. And then just drop the knee. Come into that child's pose for just a moment. Draw that foot in. Rest in our child's pose. As we get ready to do that whole thing on the other side. Bringing ourselves up to our tabletop position, walking that right foot through and letting the hips fall into that low lunge. Now for me personally, I'm able to relax more in my hips when my hands are down. I feel a little bit safer. I don't have to worry so much about the strength on my right leg or that bent knee, that leg. But if you'd like to come all the way up to the full expression, arms up outstretched overhead, or even arms, hands at your heart center, go ahead and do what makes sense. So then transitioning into high lunge, if your hands are down, we're simply going to tuck the toe. Well, no matter where your hands are, we're going to tuck that toe and bring that knee up, coming into high lunge. Get that adjustment and stability, and then bringing ourselves up to that full expression. From here, we're going to rotate that foot down, come into our warrior two. Nice, deep, steady breaths. Straightening that front leg, getting ready for our triangle. First, we reach forward and we pause here for a couple of breaths. I want you to feel how the hips shift, how the core engages to hold us here. And then we rotate and come into our triangle. Nice deep breath here. Then as we exhale, the hands come down towards that right foot, and we can walk ourselves back to our wide-legged pose. Come to that flat back for a moment and heel toe the feet in a little bit. So there may be only about 3 feet, 2 feet apart. And we're going to add our twist here. So we're going to plant that right hand down on the mat. We're going to bend that right knee and really lean ourselves over to the right as we lift that left arm high. We may even feel the right side of our body touching the right thigh. That's how deep we're bending that knee. One more inhale here. And as we exhale, we straighten that leg, let that left hand float down. Plant that left hand, bend that left knee. Take a nice deep breath. And as we exhale, we twist, bringing all the air out of the lungs, shifting our weight over to the left. Nice, deep, steady breaths. One more inhale here. And as we exhale, we straighten that leg. That hand comes down. Excellent. Pause for a moment. Let the head hang down. Loosen up that neck. Maybe nod your head a couple times. Shake it out in a no. And then walking your hands over to the left foot, rotate the feet and the body to face the front of the mat. Simply take a step forward, forward fold. Holding here in this forward fold. Again, an opportunity to play around with it. Maybe your legs are straightening just a little bit more. Maybe you want to play with where your hands are. Hands coming behind your ankles. Maybe holding on to the big toes. Maybe you'd rather enjoy some ragdoll and hold elbow to elbow and just hang for a moment. And then inhaling, we're going to come to our flat back, halfway up, and hold here for a moment. A couple of breaths, feeling the shoulder blades draw together, the chest, the heart opening towards the ground. One more inhale. And on our next exhale, we fold. And then we're going to drop our bottoms down as we come onto our toes. So we're just coming into a little toe balance here. Bringing our hands to our heart, bringing ourselves all the way up, crown of the head, reaching towards the sky, shoulders down. Just balancing for a moment or two. And then bringing our hands down, allowing ourselves to lower down all the way down to the ground. We are going to come into our cow face legs, which we haven't done in a long time. So we're going to bring, I don't know why I always start this way, we're going to bring the right foot underneath and we're going to cross that left foot over. So we're stacking knee upon knee. Now, how close your feet come to your body. First of all, the feet stay flexed, and depending on your level of flexibility, those feet may be coming really close to your body, or they may be staying out a little bit more. It doesn't matter. This is your pose. But what we're trying to do is cross those knees over, one over the other. So now I want you to really sit up tall. Feel that pelvic bone, that diamond shape towards the ground. So tilt that pelvic bone down, and if you are feeling a nice stretch, you may just want to stay right here. But if you want a little bit more, then we lead with the chest. We don't round and tuck our tailbone. We lead with the chest as we rest our body down onto our legs and walk our hands forward. So we're hinging at the hips, not rounding and tucking the tailbone under. Again, this one sometimes requires a little bit of play. Feels tight at the beginning, But as you breathe deep, you find you get to move deeper and deeper into the stretch. Slowly walking our hands back in, stretching those legs out in front of us, and then we're going to switch directions. So now that left leg tucks under and that right leg comes over. Again, giving yourself grace, understanding that each side feels a little bit different, bends in a different way. Sitting up nice and tall, and then if you'd like, hinging forward. This is definitely not my flexible side. Relax the tension that you're holding in your legs. And if you can't release the gripping of the knees or the tensing of the knees, then you're probably just in the pose a little bit too deep. Walking your hands back in, bringing yourself up, and stretching those legs out in front of you. Bouncing the knees around a little if you need to, work that out. Flex the feet, bring the heels down to the ground, sit up nice and tall, palms, arms out, palms up as we lower ourselves all the way down to the ground. Bring the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little side to side. We're going to give ourselves a couple of minutes in some supine twists so that we can just enjoy being able to breathe and be still. So keep the right knee in, stretch that left leg long. The heel is on the ground, toes towards the sky. Maybe a couple ankle twists with that right foot. And change direction there. And then bringing that right arm out to the side, the left hand on the right knee as we twist ourselves over. And then coming into this twist however you'd like. Some people like to put their foot on the ground, that right foot on the ground, and open up that leg a little bit more. I like to keep the instep of my right foot on my left knee. Keep my knee bent. We allow that right shoulder to stay down on the ground. Right hip shines towards the ceiling. Gaze towards the right hand. Now remember, you're getting yourself to a position where you can let go of the tension and just rest. Each exhale, reminding yourself to let go of the tension. on an inhale, we come back up to center. Bring both knees into the chest again. And this time, letting that right leg stretch out long, heel reaching towards the edge of your mat, toes towards the sky. A couple of ankle twists with that left ankle. And then the left arm goes out long like a T. The right hand to the left knee as we take an inhale and exhaling, we twist all the way over. Again, get yourself to that place where you can release the tension in that lower leg. Release the tension in that top leg. Allow the shoulder to rest down. Release the tension in your eyes and in your jaw. Maybe you're clenching your buttocks to be able to get a good twist. See if you can relax. And then coming back up to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Maybe coming into a happy baby. Allowing the spine to lengthen. And then getting yourself ready for our final resting pose, whatever that looks like for you, grabbing your props. Finding the blanket or the eye mask. And then stretching those legs out long in front of us, letting the ankles fall open. Or if you prefer your knees to be bent, bring the feet to the outside edges of your mat and let your knees fall together so you can release all the tension. Taking a nice deep breath, we allow our lungs to expand. Let the shoulders stretch out onto the mat. For a moment, just feel yourself being held, suspended, the safety of the ground, the safety of your mat, and just release the tension. Bringing our attention back to the room and back to our breath. Bringing gentle movement into our body, wiggling our fingers and our toes. Maybe rocking our head side to side. And then lifting our arms up towards the ceiling and all the way back to the top of our mat. Getting that nice long body stretch from the tips of the fingers to the tips of the toes. And bringing our knees into our chest. Nice hug for a job well done. And then gently rolling over to our right side. And pressing ourselves up to a seated position. Bringing our arms down by our sides, our palms are up. We take a nice big inhale. Hands meet in high prayer, and as we exhale, we bring our hands to our heart. I'm so glad that you were here with me today. I hope that you remember to live the rest of your day today and all of your days with intention. Being very discerning as to what is for you and what is not for you. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming. Namaste.